How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have The Difference Between with us tonight. They can say their names and what they do in the band.
I'm Chris. I do vocals and The Difference Between.
I'm also Chris, and I play guitar.
I'm Garrett. I also play guitar.
My name's Cody. I play the drums.
Awesome. Well, as you know, there's some familiar faces on the screen. Chris and Cody have both been on the channel a handful of times at this point, so welcome back, guys. And of course, Garrett, Chris, welcome as well. But the main thing, I'm sure people want to know how this project started out, the difference between how did you guys all come together, what made you decide to do this more specifically.
Cody, you can take that.
All right. Sure, you can chime in then too. But so I've known Chris for about three and a half years, right? Our bands. I play in the band The Scent Like Wolves, and Chris plays guitar in Softspoken. We did a tour back in 2017 called the Weird Triumphant 2 tour with the band Revenant. It was pretty rad time, and Chris and I kind of hit it off and enjoyed working with each other. We had a couple various music business endeavors together, and we just kind of stayed in touch, and our bands have been playing for a while ever since. So he kind of, I don't know, the quarantine live music was kind of out the window, so I had to kind of figure out some other outlets, and Chris and I just started to kind of write music back and forth. I would just send him some layouts I heard on drums and see what he could play over guitar, and honestly the first one sounded awesome, so we just kind of kept going with it then, and we're just kind of writing some music that we both enjoy playing that's kind of out of the element of the bands that we play now. But anything you want to add, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, that it pretty much covers it. Just for the Cody and I hook up, the band name was kind of one that he had, and then Garrett obviously used to play bass, original bassist in Softspoken, and I've known Garrett most of my adult life. We played in our first band together, and then when we were in our first band ages ago, we met other Chris and and played with his old bands back in the day. So we're all kind of connected in different ways.
And one was I know both Chris and Cody very well, and we've all been collectively friends for a little bit. But obviously Cody had mentioned he started it out of a quarantine thing. Was it something I obviously all of you guys are in bands, but does it feel like a different outlet this time around? You guys wanted to kind of experiment with different things. Obviously, Chris knows other Chris as well as Garrett, from other past bands. So I don't know if you guys, Chris and Garrett, or if you are in bands now currently. So do you feel like you guys get to experiment with different sounds and try different things that you may not be able to do or do differently with other bands that you're a part of?
I love not being in a strictly metalcore band.
That's fair.
Nice to get out of the kind of new core, metalcore stigma, and I love The Scent Like Wolves to death. We're still writing new music, so be prepared for that. But I joined that project after they've already been established for a couple years, so it was really nice for me to kind of especially working with Chris as well, to start something brand new, kind of knowing everything I know now, and just where I'm at now as a musician and person who's endeavoring to work in the music industry. I'm sure Chris has the same thing to say about similar to that, but yeah, it's kind of refreshing, and just I'm excited for it.
Yeah, ditto. I don't know, Chris and Garrett, if you want to tell kind of your backgrounds or how you feel about things.
I'm just excited to play some music again. It's been a while. Like Chris said, I played in Softspoken. I've played in a lot of different bands with Chris there, and throughout the years. But I kind of took a break for a while from the home, and so it's exciting to get back into it and play again, man. Especially playing this style of music. I love playing the old post-hardcore stuff. That's back to our roots. So it's really fun.
Chris,
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'd been out of music for about 10 years, had no interest in getting back into it. And I decided to take a chance, especially with Chris. I've already been around him enough, so kind of trusted what he was doing. Yeah, kind of glad I made that decision, honestly. I really had no desire to play music again.
Oh, wow.
But Chris kind of changed my mind.
The vision. Chris the visionary. What do you have to say, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, for me, obviously, you know, like Softspoken is kind of like another band that I started and is like my baby and stuff. But
Sure, yeah.
It's also, you know, become this thing where it's like sometimes it's a lot of work. Not that this isn't, but it's very much kind of a slower process, and we're at this point in that band where it's like we have to be very calculated about the sound and where we're taking it on the business side, and obviously I'm writing with Billy, you know, the other guitarist in that band, whereas with this it's kind of more like not thinking, calculating so much, just kind of like Cody sends a beat and I'm writing, you know, and then you know, we send it and Chris puts vocals on it, and you know, Garrett will add ideas and stuff, so it's just kind of more of like a natural flow, I guess. So it's been really refreshing, a very good creative outlet, I think.
Yeah, no, I like I said, I've been following it since probably the birth of it, pretty much, because like I know both of you guys, both Cody and Chris, were pushing it real hard, and I know, you know, shout out to you, Chris, for setting this up and wanting to get on here. But you know, when you guys were saying like some of your influences, which we'll obviously talk about, I was like, I feel like there's not a lot of bands right now that are currently occupying that space. And so for me, like, that was kind of some of the artists that I grew up listening to, and so, or got me into this style of music. So I'm very curious to hear what's going on. Like, obviously I listened to the demos and stuff, and it sounds great so far, but like I'm excited to see what you guys are working on in the studio, and like how expansive you guys are kind of gonna go with this direction and stuff, which is very cool. And I would definitely recommend everybody to go check out the links in the description to find out about them. But kind of tailing into what I was going to talk about, which are, you know, who are you guys influenced by, you know, more specifically in this band, you know, what kind of got you motivated in terms of like the influences, or like who are you guys trying to, I don't want to say copy because that's not the right word, but like, you know, kind of be influenced by, draw from.
Who do you want to hear from first? I think that's the best way to deal with this.
We'll do Chris
first.
We'll do Chris at the top left.
Awesome. Honestly, guys like Daryl Palumbo from Glassjaw, there was just something about, I mean, because I also got into him when I heard Head Automatica too, so it's kind of, I got to hear both at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
But he just kind of just didn't give a fuck. I liked that, and you could hear it in the way he performed, you know. And bands like Norma Jean or Poison the Well, I just always wanted to be able to replicate that feeling. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I'll always listen to that. I'll never grow out of it. It's been like 15 years, probably 20 years, and yeah, just post-hardcore, just that kind of sound. Never grow out of it. Did I answer the question? I get hit in the head a lot.
Yeah.
You nailed it, yeah.
Okay, sorry. I rant.
It's all good. That's what we like here on the channel. Garrett, we'll go with Garrett next.
So what influences?
Influences, correct, yes.
He touched on, you know, he said really all old post-hardcore bands, man, like the things we grew up on, like I still listen to today, even though they're Norma Jean. I love Norma Jean. That's a big influence of mine. And then really back to like the original, like All's Well That Ends Well, Chiodo stuff.
Ooh.
You know, that album, man, stuff like that. I don't know. Those are probably some good influences of mine. Like just anything back to old early 2000s post-hardcore stuff.
Good answers.
Chris, bottom right.
Oh, I'm top right on mine, but
Oh,
go.
You're bottom right. Mine.
Other Chris.
Other Chris, yeah, Chris too.
For me, I mean, it's like, especially for me, like, you know, since I'm the guitarist in two different bands, I try to like make a conscious effort to not make what I'm writing sound the same in both bands.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But really, my main influences, I mean, Norma Jean's been touched. Oceana is a big one for me. Especially like the Birth Eater era Oceana.
Oh yeah.
There's something really about that album and just like the atmosphere it has, but also like it's heavy without being chuggy.
Yeah.
Which is something that I love to like the challenge of. So that's the big one for me. And then Lower Definition is another one.
Nice. Yeah.
and then like I think just kind of the style that I've developed will always be influenced by As Cities Burn and kind of how Cody and that band plays. So I think those are probably my biggest influences, which are originally like those were the influences that I had when I started Softspoken, but that kind of went in a different direction. So so it's cool to be able to like just hone in on doing exactly that with this.
Yeah. Cody?
My biggest one, Poison the Well. I'm actually wearing an old school Poison the Well shirt.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Like, I remember just being like a kid in middle school when I heard just like The Opposite of December and like Tear from Red, and just was like completely blown away. And then I just was really drawn to his style with everything, and just kind of like just how raw and like emotional kind of their music, dark their music is. And then I remember when I was younger, I wasn't really into like versions or the Tropic Rock too much, but now like listening back to them as like an adult now, I think they're incredible. It's kind of the more so the direction I think my drumming is for this band. Outside of that, I'm a huge fan of Misery Signals, and especially the drummer of Misery Signals. I think he's. I know I said I want to get out of the metalcore realm a little bit, but I mean I think he does a really cool way of blending like really cool elements of percussion and with like just shredding and metalcore. And then Oceana Birth Eater. I Fear Before the March of Flames.
Nice,
Old school post hardcore. You know, I just it's going back to kind of like my roots of just almost just kind of being like just almost being like a high school kid again, just just having fun with music. You know, I mean, like I like kind of what Chris was saying, where like both of our bands are kind of at a point where we have to almost be like super calculated about what we do and just like writing our music and like even just releasing. This one, I just like. It was just a passion project, just fun. Like it's just like a stress relief that I love writing like drums on like MIDI, especially like I moved into an apartment and can't play my real drum set as much, so it's just like kind of cathartic to sit there and just like write out the thoughts in my head and MIDI, and then like it was just a really cool element to send it to Chris, and him and I have really similar tastes in music too. So I mean, putting it together it just really worked really well, and I'm stoked that this is becoming a thing, and we're having like podcast interviews now. Hell yeah.
There we go. I mean, I feel like you guys like you touched on all of kind of the bands that I felt like you guys draw from, like definitely Oceana, and that's like I said earlier, I feel like that's a band and kind of like an untapped genre that I felt like a lot of people kind of liked within that time period, but never really kind of I feel like people never really latched onto it, and so I'm hoping that you guys, I know obviously you guys pull from that genre of music, and like obviously Lower Definition, I can definitely hear some strong vibes from that, and just like it does feel like, as Cody says, it does feel like that classic like post-hardcore sound, and like you guys are pulling from like the, I would say like early to mid 2000s, and you know that's what I grew up, and what got me into this type of music was like, and as Garrett said, like Chiodos, like I remember listening to those first couple records and just being like, what is this? I have no idea. This is great. Like I'm all about this, and like I said, I'm glad that you guys are kind of trying to, I guess, bring a resurgence back to that. So definitely cool on your end. But how is, like, obviously I saw Cody went down to the studio. How is like the studio time, like working together? Obviously you guys were all sending tracks back and forth and kind of doing that, but like how is the atmosphere recording it all? Because I imagine it's a lot different than just emailing a track back and forth, or like Dropboxing a track back and forth. There's something probably different about being in the studio and being able to kind of like bounce ideas back off of each other. So, you know, how is that? You know, what can people kind of expect, I would say, and like just pretty much that, like generally, I'd say.
I'm gonna go ahead and go, but I think it was cool just to have everybody together for multiple different reasons. You know, like obviously Cody and I have been together when we played shows and stuff, but it was our first time like in a creative atmosphere together, which was cool.
Sure.
And Garrett and I have been there, done that, you know, but it was cool to be back in that with him. And then so like Chris, like, you know, just touching on the old post-hardcore stuff, like we've, you know, like we were in that scene, you know, back in the day.
Sure,
you know, we're all like in our early 30s, and like 10 years ago, Chris and I almost had like a band together that didn't quite work out. And I know for him it had been probably a decade-ish since he had even been in a studio. But it was really cool too because the guy that we're recording with, our buddy Cole Clark, used to play drums in Picturesque. He owns the studio, and like back in the day, he was in a band that like looked up to the bands that Chris and I were in, and Garrett. So it was kind of like this cool full circle thing, you know, where like it had, who knows how long it'd been, like 15 years since we were all even in a room together doing stuff music related, but we were all kind of working on bringing back what we grew up loving and stuff. So that, it was cool for me. That was my take.
Yeah, that was really cool, man. Like, just all, like we said, it's been 15 years since we'd all been in the same room together playing anything. So it was just crazy, you know, to think like that we're all actually still, we're still doing it. Like, we were doing this when we were in, you know, middle school, early high school. Me and Chris started a band in middle school, I think, maybe high school. I don't even know, but like,
Yeah.
And I played guitar, he played guitar, and then like we played in bands. I played bass in bands with him. I played drums in bands with him. You know, done all kinds of different stuff. And then now, 15 years later, we're all still playing music together again. It's pretty cool.
Cody or Chris?
You can go, Chris.
It was actually probably the smoothest recording process I've ever been a part of. Not knocking any band I've ever been, you know, in a studio with, but we already had the songs pretty much done as we went in there. Mm-hmm. So just tracking them was, you know, they had that done really quick, surprisingly. Guitars were done before I even got there. Unfortunately, got to missed him playing guitar.
I never did. No.
They're all professional, and I appreciate that. It's something that I didn't have coming up in music. We were all like young and we didn't know what we were doing. But yeah, this makes it way more efficient, and you don't waste any time or energy. So yeah, I'm definitely grateful for that.
Yeah, my experience was kind of rushed this first time around.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, we tracked 2 songs for right now to like release us, and then we're going back in July to track.
Very cool.
A large amount of them. So I'll actually be down in Kentucky I live in Pennsylvania, by the way, for everybody listening. But and the rest of the guys live in Kentucky, so it's quite a gap to meet up. A 10-hour gap, in fact. Yeah, so we're going back in July to record like the rest, like a whole EP. So I'll be there for like a week. So I'm very excited to hang out with everybody then. That's definitely going to be a really fun time. But yeah, for me it was really fast. I took a day off of work on a Friday, and then I just literally drove all the way to Kentucky. Well, I got stuck in like 2 hours of traffic in West Virginia, and all morale got taken away from me. So I still got a hotel room and finished the rest of the 2 hours the next morning. But anyway, it was just a day of driving, and the next day was just me tracking super fast and like as proficient as possible, just to like get that done really quick, so I could hang out with the guys and get pictures done and stuff, and kind of capitalize the time I had with them. And then on Sunday, I just left and drove. Ended up being like 11 and a half hours back to Pennsylvania, and then went to work the next day. But so for me, it was kind of like business, but I did have a really good time after I finished tracking my parts and drinking with the guys and stuff. And I'm very excited to go back in July. But the process of writing in general, that was really fun. Like I've never had a band where I could just like write a whole song on drums and then just send them straight up like a song layout, and then have like that song come back to me with like full like string instruments over it. You know, I think it's a really unique way of writing, and I've never done that. I will say, like, the studio process was very rushed for me, but everything else has been like a long time coming with writing the songs out with Chris and sending them back.
No, yeah.
That's my rant.
That's all good, Cody. Like I said, we're all about rants here. But like the process between, like you're saying, the process between like you guys writing, I think is pretty impressive, and I think it just goes to show like what the internet can do. You know, like obviously I know you and Cody,
that's wild.
you and Cody or Chris and Cody are, you know, have known each other from that aspect of like, you know, doing tours and playing music and stuff. But I think it's kind of insane to like know that somebody, you know, like obviously Cody lives in Pennsylvania, and like to be able to do that. And also I would probably say even like this stuff, like to be able to facilitate interviews like over the internet is pretty impressive. But yeah, and then I gotta ask Chris about like, obviously since you've been out vocally for like 10 years, how was getting into the booth and like starting to record vocals and stuff? And like, I'm sure it must feel surreal because like obviously taking some time off from that it must have been like a little nervous and stuff, and obviously excited at the same time. So I guess like, how did you feel after, you know, like kind of working on some of the stuff in the studio?
Like you said, surreal. Honestly, I didn't think I'd ever do it again. But I have home recording equipment, so I was messing around with music a little bit, so I was kind of easing my way back into at least being comfortable hearing myself. And Cole that we recorded with was really facilitating. Like he makes the experience a lot more comfortable than, you know, some people might. So yeah, he knows how to get the right things out of you. And you know, that I think that's a hard thing to do because everyone's a little bit different. But yeah, it wasn't hard getting back into it.
It felt normal. That's awesome. Well, hopefully those things translate to the new song. Cody, hopefully you get to have some R&R next time. I feel the 10-hour drives. I go to visit my parents in South Carolina, and that is about the same distance. So I feel the night drives.
Rough. Yeah.
I got you.
You don't want to stop ever. Just in there screaming on my cars. I
got
listen
you.
to a lot of music though. It's great.
That's true. You get a lot of music listening hours in, man. I'll tell you that much. But
a lot of driving straight.
Oh, listen, you're preaching to the choir. I already know that. But best, hopefully, like I said, next time you get some R&R, it's well deserved. But the next question, guys, keeping it more current. You guys been jamming recently. You know, what do you spend your time listening to on a day-to-day basis?
I guess I'll go again. I don't really have a good answer though. I like most of my jamming is just like when I'm in the car, and that's really just like my classic throwbacks. So it's not a huge difference in that answer between what I talked about as my influences. But I'm trying to think of like new stuff that I've been jamming. I mean, a lot of what I listen to is like based on my work, like in management, just like the bands that I'm working with or bands that I'm checking out.
Wow, Chris. Way to throw that in there. I'm just kidding. You can do it.
And then I'm just trying to think of something new that I've been really into, but I don't have anything off the top of my head. I listened to the new Lower Definition. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, very
cool.
cool.
Surprise.
You could pump your bands. I don't care, Chris. You know, they've been on here.
Yeah,
most of them has been on here at this point anyway.
True.
So
new Varsity album sound pretty sick. It'll be out sometime.
Hey,
sure,
the new
Varsity
Varsity is pretty good. Or I don't know about their new full length, but that EP is really good.
Yeah,
I liked it. I really like that new. It's like super heavy metal, not like what we play, but like that new Darko.
Oh yeah,
their shit's fucking rad. I like it a lot. But I like a lot of heavier stuff. But then again, I really love like Highly Suspect. They're one of my favorite bands.
Ooh, nice.
And you know, stuff like that. The new Breaking the Horizon record is really good. I like it.
I'll tackle this one, I guess, first. I don't really listen to a lot of new music, nor do I listen to a lot of metal, which is like very contradictory to this podcast.
That's fair.
About my metal band. But,
listen, I don't listen to metal
listen to
all
a
the
lot
time
of
either.
like yeah. I mean, I listen to a lot of like emo music. Like I've been on a big Sorority Noise kick and
Nice.
like Lydia kick lately in Copeland. But I've also been going to I've been listening to a lot of '90s hip hop and some new. Like I've been really digging the brand new Busta Rhymes album. I think that's pretty fresh, and I love this one Spotify playlist called Jazz Rap. Just and I've also been in a weird No Doubt kick, but yeah, weird stuff, you know. But I guess if I had to like say some new albums, I think were really sick. I think the new Era album is really cool.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Sound like Wolves and say I don't love Era, but yeah, the new Era album's sick. I thought I still am preaching the Kingdom of Giants album. I think that was like
so good.
The best metalcore album of 2020.
Ooh.
It's such a fresh sound. I love everything about it. Yeah, I got to give some love to my dudes in Varsity too. That EP, Cloud City. I do find myself jamming that all the time. I think it's great. But yeah, as new music, I don't really listen to a lot of that, unfortunately, as much as I should. But yeah, lots of nostalgic emo music is always where you'll find me.
You got some good. You got some good ones. That was some, especially Lydia. I feel like that one never gets enough love.
Yeah, I love Lydia so much. Yeah.
Chris, what do you got for us?
I'm like Cody. Honestly, I'm still listening to music that's like 20 years old. But there's some newer bands like Starset that I really like,
Ooh,
just because they're really different. I don't know if it's different for like the scene, but it's different for like what I'm used to listening to. But I'll still listen to Fear Before the March of Flames or Hot Water Music or Paramore.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And, you know, it just depends on my mood. I mean, honestly, I love newer bands, but I'm so out of touch that everything seems crazy. Like even Cody and Chris's bands, I haven't heard a lot of stuff like that, before I kind of got back into, I guess, writing music. So I wasn't used to like heavier bands with like guys that can sing really well.
I feel that
it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that coming up. We only had Johnny Craig. I think that was all we had at the time.
That's
So,
that's pretty fair.
Little name drop.
There we go. Well, if I do have to give you guys a band to check out that just released, I think at least from Friday, was Holding Absence's newest record.
Yeah, they're great.
That was I listened to it all day yesterday, today, and I've just been hooked. So
I forgot that came out.
If you're into like, I don't even know, it's like post-hardcore, like emo, all that shit. It's great. It's fantastic. Oh no, Chris.
It's down.
Chris,
I got so excited by Holding Absence.
You're right. Also, I gotta give a shout, Varsity. I love Joey. Shouts to Joey, the man, the myth.
Shouts to Joey.
Love that dude.
Keep streaming it so I can make my 15%.
Well, I mean, Chris, this is on the internet. I just hope you know that now. Now I feel like Joey's gonna be in my DMs now. After this comes
Joey
out.
doesn't care. He'll be in your DMs anyway.
That's fair. But go check out Varsity if you guys haven't checked them out. But next question, guys, another fun one. If you guys could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
Oh,
that's a good question.
That's tough.
I'd probably pick the Yu Yu Hakusho theme song.
Oh, nice. Yes. Woo.
Chris would just have to sing like an Asian woman. Japanese woman. Yeah.
Easy.
Sorry. I don't know where it, but yeah.
You're close. You're in the ballpark. I'll give you the pass. Yeah. I'm Asian, so I feel like I can give you the pass on it.
I'm part.
Yeah. We got some Asian connections in here.
Diversity.
Chris can speak fluid Japanese.
Yeah. I can teach you the Japanese and you can sing it.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. You just got to get that tone right. Can't have no man singing that.
I think I would want to do like an old school. This is off the top of my head. Old school Norma Jean, like Redeemer era.
Ooh, okay.
Norma Jean song.
Okay.
Would be
fun. Yeah, down with that too. I think that would be a cool idea. Old Norma Jean, even older than Redeemer though. Like I'm talking like, oh God, the Math or something. That would be cool.
That would be cool too.
There we go. Chris, you have one?
Which one? Which Chris?
I just answered. So
Chris just Chris too.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. I was just kidding. At the drive-in, One Arm Scissor, kind of. Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those songs. I always go back to it, even though I feel like I grew out of it. I didn't.
Garrett, did you have an answer? Or are you piggybacking on Chris too?
Man, I don't know. Like, cover songs are fun. I like just hearing how different people take, just their spin on other tracks. But,
sure, yeah.
I don't know. I'm down to cover anything.
I guess if I had to pick a more serious one, I'd probably pick I guess it's kind of serious. I would love to see a metal band cover the Linkin Park and Jay-Z collab, Collision Course.
Be interesting.
Like a new metal kind of version of it. I think that would be so sick. But I love playing it on drums, like the whole EP. It's super fun. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan of covers, honestly. So I like to try to put like the most obscure ones possible if I'm gonna cover something.
We're
So
gonna
you
have.
got Yu Yu Hakusho theme song.
Yeah,
Of
listen.
course.
I'm expecting that now. The Yu Yu Hakusho is. It's on my list now. I'm gonna have to remember that. That's in the noggin. I'm gonna remember that one.
If our first two singles don't go over well, we'll just switch to being a cover band, I guess.
Yes. Collision course.
Well, Chris, I feel like Chris too is gonna do the Jay-Z part. My boy Chris is gonna rap. Chris, how do you feel about doing the Jay-Z parts?
I don't know which Chris you're asking.
I'm asking.
I don't know either.
Chris and either one of you. You're both gonna. Okay, you guys are both gonna do the raps. I'm excited. Both gonna rap at the same time for Jay-Z. All right. I'm glad we got this figured out now. You know, don't you get mixed up in the studio.
I can't rap. I'm sorry.
Me
sorry.
either,
With
but
that
I'll
attitude.
Yeah. Wow. You sound like a bunch of quitters. Yeah.
God, I'm sorry.
Very upset here. Anyway, guys, if you have any recommendations for the difference between, drop them in the comments. They might wind up doing it if they become a full-on cover band. So,
It might happen.
the next question, guys, if you were to have a guest feature on the up-and-coming difference between record, who would you like to have a feature of?
Ooh. That's a good question.
I don't know. I really, really like Landon Tours, though.
Okay.
I like.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one.
He'd be cool dude to work with.
Sexy.
You're right.
I don't know. I'm thinking. So if anybody else has an answer,
I'd probably say, obvious Darren Palumbo would be sick, or Shane Told from Silverstein.
Ooh, Shane
I'm
Told,
a sucker
yeah.
for Silverstein. I think it would complement music pretty well.
good answers.
Good answer so far. Chris or Chris too.
So, do you remember the band Gwen Stacy?
Oh yeah, classic.
The first vocalist, Cole Wallace, is one of my favorite vocalists ever.
It was great.
That's who I would want, just because I always tried to replicate his scream. You know, so it would be sweet to have that, but he does not play music anymore. I don't think so.
Fingers
Cool.
crossed.
I hope that'd be.
I'm gonna go back to when Chris mentioned Paramore earlier. It'd be cool to have Haley on the song.
I was gonna throw that out there, or another one I was thinking was Sierra K, Verse Emerge.
Ooh,
She's
nice.
singer for Verse
Yeah.
Emerge, and I wish that their career lasted longer than it did. But yeah, I think she's been fantastic. I don't know what she's doing anymore though, but hopefully still making music. I gotta check that out now that I'm thinking about it.
Fingers crossed. I think I know the guitarist of Versa Emerge. I think he does like production now, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know if he's producing anything anymore, but yeah, I don't know about Sierra. I think she's still, to my knowledge, my musical knowledge is very limited, but I'd imagine I want to guess I think she's still making music, if I'm not mistaken. So
The internets have told me that she is doing a solo project now, and I will send you a link to that.
knowledge. I got it. I
Yep.
did it. Still
The
got it.
internet's
I'm still on it.
killing it.
But if you guys would love to hear a guest feature, listen, from the difference between, you want to hear a female singer, a male singer, just, you know what you got to do. You have to type the difference between on Twitter. You have to tag who you think would best fit in the difference between songs. So, and then you say collab, of course, because obviously there's some legal gray area there. Chris knows. So, you know, Chris manages bands, so I feel like, you know, got to get the legal fortitude in there a little bit. I don't know. I'm not a legal expert, but I think that's how you get collabs. Is that Chris? Is that correct, Chris?
There's a few different ways. You know,
Okay.
you can just pay some money. You can agree on splits. You know, I'm cheap. No, I'm just kidding.
Listen, I was hoping you to play into it, Chris. You know.
So I kind of have like a slightly joke answer to that question, but I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to piss off other Chris. But so slight history lesson. So Chris was the original vocalist of Corsets Are Cages, which became Omarosa, right? So after him, they got Chris Roeder. So he gets confused for Chris Roeder a lot. You know, people confuse the names. So I was like, it'd be funny to have a Chris Roeder feature and then we'd have the double Chris.
You have triple Chris.
That'd be
Triple
great.
Chris.
You have Chris. You have Chris cubed. Guys,
Might
if
as
you want to
well.
see, guys, if you want to see Chris cubed, you type in twitter.com, and then you get the difference between, you get like Monster Flames, and then you have 3 Chris's all in one room.
Yeah, just a whole history of music,
a whole history of Chris.
Good stuff.
History of Chris, guys. Let's make it happen.
So that's my answer. I changed my answer.
There we go. Thank you, Chris. I don't know what number of Chris we're on at this point. There's too many Chris's here.
Yeah.
Next question, guys. If there was another musical instrument you could master, what would it be?
It's a good question. I'd probably choose drums, personally,
That's fair. Yeah.
just because I can't play them at all.
Same.
Like I said, I've played about every instrument you could think of in bands with Chris.
Yeah.
If I could master another instrument, it would be, I would want to play the cello. I think a cello is a beautiful instrument.
Ooh.
That's sick. That's pretty.
There we go. Chris or Cody?
Probably pick the piano or the guitar, just because I got really stupid fingers that don't move well that I would like them to. I got like terrible fine motor skills, but obviously some alright gross motor skills. So yeah, I would love to play the piano or I don't know, like any string instrument. Just the drums are really obnoxious, and what I'm learning from living in an apartment now is I can never play them. It's very frustrating to me. So I would love to be able to just like plug a guitar into an interface and just like play quietly in a headset. Even
That's
electric people are like, oh, I got an electronic drum set. It's just like, you're still slapping shit. Like, you're still making sound. So, it's still, like, really obnoxious to the person below you.
Chris, what do you got for us?
Definitely guitar. I think it would benefit what I do more, being able to play better than what I can do right now. But definitely have not mastered vocals either, so I should probably consider that first. Yeah, that's hard enough.
That's debatable, I feel. You're a pretty good vocalist.
It's just, I feel like you can never perfect it. It's just one of those, I just feel like you never think you're good enough. It's one of those. So you kind of always, don't be complacent, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I feel that way about guitar too.
You could always be better. There's always room for improvement.
Yeah, 100%.
But I do want to add though. I feel like sometimes the beauty in somebody's like voice or the character of their voice is the slight imperfection in it. Like
I'd agree. Yeah.
I think that's what makes a voice what it is. So.
Yeah, you can always
still like post-hardcore.
Yeah, a post-hardcore, I feel like you can kind of get away with a non like traditional, like, oh, we have to sound right on key or like right. Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to sound close, but I don't know. There's something emotionally that is just attached to like somebody just kind of like letting it all go. Yeah.
Yeah, look at like Poison Wells, like clean vocals.
Oh, 100%. But next question, guys. Another fun one. If there was one album that you wish that you would have written, what album would you choose?
Dang,
if you could take credit for a record.
Probably for me, Glassjaw, Worship and Tribute. It's probably one of my top 3 albums of all time. I don't know, it just blew me away when I heard it for the first time, and like, almost, I don't know, definitely over a decade later, probably getting close to 15 years now, it still holds up as one of my favorite albums, and it's like some really fresh sounding music. I thought the production was even really great for the time too.
Good answer.
Yep.
I'd probably take the business approach and say like one of the Beatles albums, just thinking about the money, but creatively it would be As Cities Burn, Sun I Loved You at Your Darkest, for the same reasons Cody mentioned. Just like that was a song, like that album, just when I heard it I was just like, damn, like you can do that kind of cool like bluesy fiddly stuff on a guitar but still make it like heavy, but even though the tones aren't really that heavy, I don't know, it's just kind of a lot of cool,
I got what
like,
you meant. Yeah.
Juxtaposition. Yeah.
Garrett or Chris?
Garrett, you go ahead, bud.
Oh no, so there's this band called Forgive Durden. They're really cool. They made like this like musical album called Razia's Shadow, and I thought that was like the coolest thing ever because it's like there's different guest vocalists come in and sing different characters' parts. It's
very cool.
It's it's a musical. It's a musical album straight up. It's like, you know, it's different. It's cool though. I always thought that was cool.
Chris,
I can't pick one album, but I would probably just want to be Joey Sturgis. He put out a lot of really good shit. So yeah,
that's a good answer.
And he also has his own sound. And yeah, I don't know.
You can buy his sound packs.
You can.
I can't afford those.
I just want to let you know, guys, that
this post-hardcore band.
I just want to let you guys know that this episode is sponsored by JST. Okay, it'd be great. Yeah. Please, Joey, sponsor me. It'd be great. Listen, it's a perfect pitch, Joey. All I'm saying is that I have bands on. Match made in heaven. That's all I'm saying. Listen, get at me, Joey. Joey Sturgis. Love it. Next question, guys. My personal favorite. I'm a nerd, so I like asking it. If you could be a video game character, who would you be?
Man, I don't really play video games, but
damn it!
How many years? But I really love those Devil May Cry games. I always thought that was cool. Ooh. So, or whatever his name is, he's cool.
I believe it's Dante. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Probably pick a really lame answer, but hear me out. I'd probably want to be like Ash Ketchum or like some sort of Pokemon trainer, just because like how fucking cool would it be if Pokemon exist? Yeah, it might be hazardous having like a Charmander or a rat, like a Ponyta in your house catching everything on fire, but apparently their fire only hurts you if they don't trust you. So I would make them trust me.
Cody's answer.
That's a deep answer, Cody.
I thought about this a lot. If I could plug a video game right now, I've been obsessed with Monster Hunter Rise, but I would not want to live the life of a monster hunter because you're constantly being attacked by giant boss level monsters all the time.
That's fair. You're right.
But so I want some Pokemon.
I would probably choose the Prince of Persia.
Oh,
that's rad.
That's tight.
He climbs on stuff. He can go back in time if he messes up something, you know. That'd be my answer.
He climbs on stuff?
Yeah, he's good at climbing.
That's rad. Yeah, I guess that's true.
He scales buildings.
He lives in Persia. Yeah. Got a lot of cool traits, that guy.
There we go. Chris?
I'm going to have to go with something I've been playing recently. It's just Fallout, The Lone Wanderer, honestly. Probably the only game I keep going back to play.
There we go. It's a great choice. I love Fallout. I don't have anything on my desk that is Fallout related, but I have stuff in my apartment somewhere. So, but good choices. I'm slightly biased. I love Cody's answer because I'm a big Pokemon fan. So I feel like if I had to get it out there, Cody, you win. You can collect your prize after this interview's over with. But the next question, guys, if you were to compile a dream tour lineup, who would be on it? Obviously, the difference between is on it, just in case, you know, just in case.
How many bands are we talking on this tour lineup?
Well, you know, since shows haven't been around, we're gonna just. I feel like we gotta start off with a bang. So I think we should do like 4 bands, including your band. So 5 bands total.
Okay. Right. I'm gonna say Under Oath. I would like Spirit Box because I'd like to see them live.
Oh, yes.
And then dude, where's that band? Shit. Sorry, I went first and I can't think of my answer. Under Oath, Spirit Box. I'm gonna say the Chariot because they're awesome, even though they're not actively touring. They're just crazy. And I would like to see again this band from Japan called One OK Rock because it's like the best live show I've ever seen in my life was their show. So that's my answer.
There we go.
I guess I'll go next. This is a pretty weird one. I'd probably pick the headliner Glassjaw.
Ooh,
then Poison the Well,
nice.
then Crystal Lake,
Oh,
then here's Horse the Band.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like wild. It's basically just a show I would like to see, and I think I know the Crystal Lake guys pretty well, and they're really fun to hang out with. So I think touring with them would be really fun. I've never seen Glassjaw or Poison the Well actually, and they're like two of my favorite bands. So I would love to, like, obviously tour with them, and then Horse the Band I think would just be the funnest band to tour with. I mean, like their documentary they put out for like where they did their world tour, like literally like changed the game. I've watched that probably like 3 times. It's just it made me want to like. It was a big reason. It's not like Wolf got really stoked into going like overseas and stuff, but yeah,
Very
they
cool.
just seem like really fun, hilarious guys.
there we go. Chris or Garrett?
Man, all right, so I would love some Silent Planet. Love to
Good
see
answer.
and on there. I would love to see what is it, Era. I really
Ooh.
like it for a long time. I like the Spirit Box Suggestion. They're a really good band. That would be fun. They would fit well. I don't know. Every Time I Die would be fun, I think.
Ooh.
That's a good answer.
There we go. Love that one. Chris?
Yeah, definitely. Every Time I Die. They're a lot of fun live. Definitely Spirit Box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, While She Sleeps.
Oh, yeah, nice.
I like that band a lot.
The
I
new
like that
album.
band a lot.
That album's awesome.
the new one?
And
Yeah.
Thrice.
Yeah, it just came out and I forgot about it.
Thrice. Thrice is a good answer.
Thrice is a good answer.
Definitely
too.
Thrice. They seem like nice guys.
They're like one of the band. I think I've told this story for sure on the channel. Is I went to go see them play with Circus Survive, Sean, and Balance and Composure. And
Nice.
the night that I went, I believe Circa was headlining because they like swapped nights, so like they did 2 nights in each city and just flipped. But I'd never seen Thrice before that point, and they definitely made me like a big fan of their band because they just sound exactly like their record. It's impressive that they've been around for such a long time, and I'm sure they inspire a lot of bands to continue doing it because they continue to put out great music and they sound exactly like the record, and I just think it's insane. And I think they're going to be working, if they're not already working on a new record, I think it's going to be coming out soonish, I think. So very excited for that.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I also can get behind the Spirit Box recommendation. They've been fantastic. Love that band so much. And I feel like Courtney would work with your music pretty well too. So Courtney, Spirit Box, difference
Yeah.
between. Let's make it happen. That'd be very sick.
That's
There we go.
another cool collab too, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's do it. But next question, guys. Favorite TV show, favorite movie?
Oh man.
Well, right before we started this interview, I was watching The Big Bang Theory with my girl.
There you
I
go.
watched that all. Good show. I like a little sitcom, funny, quirky TV shows like that, man. I watch that stuff all the time. Favorite movies? I don't know. That's a very loaded question. That's difficult. I love Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars fan, so I'm going to have to say Star Wars movie, but I don't know.
Took my answer, Garrett.
Yeah, I figured.
I'll just go next. My see, shows is tough because I like have to segment it into comedy or not. But
Right.
comedy would probably be which I might be stealing this from Cody. Probably be Always Sunny or Arrested Development. One of those two.
Ooh, Arrested Development. That's a good one.
Like serious show is probably Vikings. more
Ooh,
recently.
okay.
It's probably my
Okay.
favorite show.
All right.
And then movie. Damn, that's a hard question. If it's not Star Wars, Inception.
Yeah.
That movie, like, it was one of the only movies I saw. Like, I went to the theater and got out, and I just had to like sit down for a minute to like just think about it.
That's
So-
yeah.
It left a mark on me. It was a good one.
Cody or Chris?
You made a good, yeah.
Fight Club,
Nice.
and definitely It's Always Sunny. Gotta go with Chris. It kind of explains a lot about my personality, but yeah.
Actually even have like Danny DeVito as a Manchito tattooed on my leg. Beautiful. Yeah, from the Gang This Is the Boat episode. And I'd be lying if I said that was my only Danny DeVito tattoo. There's another one. But anyway, yeah, it's Ongo Gablovian is the other one, the art director. But yeah, so It's Always Sunny. I love King of the Hill a lot.
Oh, nice.
Dragon Ball Z. Movies are kind of hard for me. Actually, I'm with Chris, dude. If I had to pick like a serious TV, I'd probably pick like Breaking Bad. I watched that so many times now. I think it's an incredible show. But movie, probably the Austin Powers series.
Oh, yeah.
Grandma's Boy, or a more serious one. Probably Pulp Fiction, or really any of the Quentin Tarantino movies. I just really like his style of
That was my
directing.
Cody.
Yeah, just like that's like all the commentary and stuff that he has with his movies.
There we go.
We're a very cultured group here.
You are, yeah, you are for sure. I've been getting into
what we
this.
want.
I feel like if you guys want to see more of Cody's Danny DeVito tattoos, he has an OnlyFans. No, I'm kidding. I don't want to. He might. I don't know. Just
no one would subscribe to it.
Now they will.
Pics, Danny DeVito pics.
There's Danny DeVito pics. Link in the description. Now, next question, guys. The last thing I've been asking a lot of bands I've been having on recently. This question is: people who have made it this far through the interview, thank you for watching. But what do you want people to take away from the difference between, whether it be like from a lyrical aspect or a musical aspect or a combination of the two? What do you want new listeners to kind of go into or have the mindset of when they start to listen to your band and like get really invested?
Good question. Let me think about that for a second.
Chris like immediately started it and then folded.
Yeah. I just wanted to feel the silence.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
We were feeling the hard, buddy.
You were.
Yeah, I messed it up as usual. I don't know. I guess it's just like us just kind of doing what we want. Like it's just a bunch of guys, and they're like, I'm in my late 20s, and I know the Chris's are in their early 30s. So I mean, it's just like people have been around the block in like the metal world and the post-hardcore and just the music world in general, just kind of like not really trying to necessarily like impress a huge audience or anything. I would say like write music just to like cater towards what's going to make us the most money. It's more just like, hey, here's like what we want to do in a pure like free expression of it, like, and it's just happen. And it's also just more of a I don't know, to me, I write, I don't know, just call it a quarter life crisis or something, going back to my roots, just like what makes me feel like nostalgic and just like kind of excites me again. It's like I opened up like the excitement of what really started to open me up to like learning the drums and stuff. Like I remember one of the first albums I tried to just like learn as a whole was The Opposite of December by Poison the Well, and just being a young kid, like not knowing anything about rudiments or just like drumming in general, really just like having a double bass pedal and a shitty like Verve like drum set, like a $200 drum set, just like trying to like navigate who I am as a musician, just kind of with like people who I really looked up to. And I just kind of going back to my roots and just writing music that appeals to me. It's like fun for me to play on drums, and I don't know, I guess just try to enjoy it. There's a lot of passion in it,
Mm-hmm.
Either felt
Chris
a lot and experienced a lot in their life. Sorry.
No, you're
Too
good.
much ranting, Brandon. I know.
It was the incredible. There was like a definite lag hit, and I was like, "Oh, Cody, stop talking," and then immediately went back in. So you could continue. I mean, if you had anything else,
I'm
to add.
done now.
Okay. Very cool. I just didn't want to cut you off, but either Chris or Garrett want to add anything to that?
I'm ready. I'll go. Okay.
Shoot, Chris. Chris too.
No, I mean, kind of everything that he touched on. I feel like for me, definitely, just passion. I'm not worried about like having the biggest numbers or, you know, selling the most pieces of merch, more just like making connections with the, you know, the numbers that matter, so to speak.
Sure. Yeah.
And then also for me, it's, you know, like my goal has always been to kind of write the music that I'm writing now. And, you know, it took me a minute to get to where I am in terms of like my knowledge of songwriting in general and like my skill as a guitarist, but also like my knowledge of the music industry. Like it kind of took a minute for it all to culminate to where it is now. So it's like, I'm not just a kid that doesn't know anything playing stuff that I love, but now it's like I know what I'm doing and playing what I love. So I feel like I can kind of do it right now. And then I think added to that, there's extra meaning in having, you know, Cody doing it with me and having Garrett do it with me. And then Chris also, you know, it's kind of, not to speak for them, but kind of like second chances for them as well, like in the scene. And that means a lot, like to me, and I know it means a lot to them. So I think there's a lot to it, like behind the music and I'm sure in Chris's lyrics as well.
Chris or
I didn't freeze. I'm done.
No, that was, you guys hit it pretty well, man. For me, it's just all about sticking to our roots, man. This is what we grew up on, and this is what we just play, what we love. We just have fun with it. We like what we play, you know. It's just fun. So and like Chris said, you know, a lot for me, it's all like kind of like second chances type thing. Like I was in the music scene pretty heavy, and then, you know, obviously I kind of stepped out for a while, and I went through some really life-changing things, and it's fun to be able to get back into it and, you know, have another chance at it.
Yeah, very cool. Chris?
Definitely going to piggyback on the second chance thing. I already mentioned it once. Definitely, it is in the lyrics, and as far as like to go further into the lyrical theme, like I want people to kind of take away from bad situations don't last. You know, you're going to go through like processes and stages. It's not permanent. You know, there's always a way to work. There's always a way to make it better. You know, you just kind of have to want to do it. I hope that's what people take from it, not just like, you know, angry music or, you know, sad, this or that. Hopefully they actually see that there's a theme.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to listen to it. I'm sure one of Chris or Cody, I don't know, one of you guys will send it to me. And I'm really excited to really delve into it, listen to it. Like I said, the demos I heard were like really up my alley, and obviously I'm not pandering to you guys because I've had both Cody and Chris on, so I know I'm not pandering. But it's cool. Like it checks all the nostalgia boxes for me. Like lyrically, I'm excited to like, you know, get deeper into it and like really immerse myself. And I would recommend everybody else to kind of do the same thing and to really follow this band, because like I think they're doing something that at least to me is pretty fresh. And I know we always joke around with like some genres get a little stale and sometimes, and you just need some band that might change your, you know, perspective or ideology on something. And so, you know, I feel like with this band, like, not that I was really falling out of love with post-hardcore, because I always love it, you know, it's going to be my baby, but like, you know, it's cool to get those bands that have a refreshing take on what you already know. And so, you know, excited to hear more, obviously. And that kind of segues into the next thing, which is plugs. Tell people where they can find the difference between, you know, what you guys have coming up and anything else you guys want to plug or talk about.
Sure. So you're going to edit this, right? Before I answer the question.
You already asked me this already, Chris. Yes, it's going to be edited.
So, because I'm going to answer as if it's getting released closer to when we're releasing music. But
yes.
So yeah, you can find all of our band stuff, socials, website. It's all TDB Band, tddband.com, or, you know, /TDB Band. It's kind of a mouthful. And that's where all of our music will be. We've got 2 singles coming up here this summer. Check them out, Spotify, everywhere. It'll be there for you to enjoy.
There you go. Awesome. Well, go check out The Difference Between. I'll leave all of the links in the description where you can find out about their band, their music, all that sort of stuff. Cody's OnlyFans, all that stuff will be in the description. You know you want to see it. especially maybe or not the Cody thing. Totally not, dejecting you
Butts,
from going to
toes,
do
and
that.
Danny DeVito.
Danny, but go check out the difference between a bunch of great guys. I love having them on and talking with them right now. So if you love them too and you enjoyed this interview, go follow them. Go give them a subscribe. Go follow them on Spotify so you find out when new singles come out. And listen, you can be just as stoked as I am listening to them. If you enjoyed this interview, share, like, and subscribe. It goes a long way. Make sure to. I really want to see Courtney on a track. So if I had to plug for one artist, Courtney, the difference between Twitter, collab, do it. That's all I'm saying. I asked for one thing in this interview.
I know a guy.
A guy.
I'm shy.
But we could make it happen. So let's do that. And
Chris knows a guy.
Chris knows a guy. He knows a guy. So I think it could happen. But thank you guys for watching this. If you enjoyed the content, share, like, subscribe. If you don't ask for it, you probably won't receive it. So if you guys could share it, like it, subscribe, it would mean a lot. And huge thanks to the difference between for coming on tonight and chatting with me.
Thank
you. Thanks, man.